Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to today's vlog for Tuesday 15th of April. Hope everybody is well and good, had a good day. I was going to start today's vlog. I mentioned yesterday about Facebook groups. There's quite a lot of them. I probably guess most of you are already on various Facebook groups, but if you're not, these are the ones that I'm on. I'll leave what I think is the most relevant three till the end, but these are Couriers and Van Drivers UK. There's one called Couriers UK Transport, UK Haulage and Courier, and Delivery Couriers in UK. There are some others. The three I've left till last, this is no particular order, but I think these are more relevant to what I do and probably you do. Couriers Bad Payers. Very useful. We'll give you first information of a company that perhaps is failing to pay, which to say can be useful. And then there's everything on HX/CX, Haulage Exchange and obviously Courier Exchange. And the one which is probably, it's a newish one I think as well, which is more relevant certainly to things I do, is CX Drivers Forum. So yeah, Facebook groups, if that's of interest to you, just gives you all sorts of information. There's obviously people on there advertising their services, there's people advising when their vans are empty, and because there's always as well people looking for Deliveroo and Uber Eats accounts if you've got one to sell. Another little thing, another new thing, I'm going to have a job of the day. Won't be every day obviously, but job of the day. This could be a great job. This could be something that for example might be a job from Colchester going down to Brighton, wait and return, and the job poster is going to pay £1.50 a mile for all miles there and all miles back, rather than £1 a mile down there and 20 pence a mile coming back. But this is one the other way. This was a great job. I'm really disappointed I didn't get this. I'm going to name the company as well because it was posted on the CX. I have screenshot it, so if they want to come back at me, I've got proof of what they were offering. JHL Same Day. I've never heard of them. I've never worked with them, so no idea if they're any good or not. This was the job they had. It was a hot shot. Now they were offering, to be fair, they were offering same day payment on this, so that may be a plus. But the job was from Bishop Stortford in Essex going to London South East 1. Bishop Stortford, if you don't know, is close to Stansted Airport, and South East 1 encompasses the area really south of the River Thames, going from sort of Tower Bridge in a V shape down to Elephant Castle and back up to Waterloo Bridge, most of which is in the congestion zone. It was a small van required, and this is where the greatness was. They were offering a fixed price of £55, including VAT and handball. Now let's break that down. First of all, £55 including VAT. That's basically £45.80, I think, if my calculations are correct. So that's the price they're really offering, is £45.80, and including handball. No idea how much handball is involved. It just could be a few boxes, it could be 20-30 boxes that have got to be taken into a shop and potentially upstairs or downstairs, and that could be at both ends. It didn't specify, but there we go. For your £45.80, you've got some handballing to get you fit. Now of course it is going into the congestion zone, so congestion charge is £18, £15 plus VAT, so we need to take £15 off that £45.80, so we're down to £30.80. now it's 44 miles, doesn't sound an awful lot. Sorry, 34 miles, doesn't sound an awful lot, but, and I did check this on Google Maps, it's going into central London. There's going to be traffic. 1 hour 43 minutes, so you can pretty much round that up to 2 hours, because there's always going to be a little bit of time added on a Google Maps. So for £30 basically, you're doing 2 hours work. £15 an hour, but you are getting paid same day, so I suppose there's some benefit for that. But that's my job of the day. No idea if it got covered. I guess it probably did. I'm sure somebody was delighted to do that and felt they've had a right result. So on to myself for today. Yeah, just about getting myself out of trouble a little bit. I won a job yesterday afternoon from Colchester, going to Epping. Epping is just south of Harlow. It's just off the M11. It was a small van job, 44 miles. I bid £60 and I got that job. My thought process was it should be a fairly straightforward job being a small van. And yeah, I can probably get this, well, it's booked for 8 o'clock. I can hopefully get it on board a little bit earlier and get one quite quickly under my belt. When the details came through, it is an electrical contractor that I've picked up from before. I do know they open at 7 o'clock. So I got there at 7:15. They are always busy at 7 o'clock with lots of tradesmen there picking their stuff up. So I got there at 7:15, off site 7:25. It was only 3 boxes. Should be about an hour and 15 minutes to Epping. It was going to the hospital in Epping. It's only a smallish hospital, nothing major. But I did encounter some traffic on the A12. Seemed to be very, very heavy just after this junction 25 Marks Tay turn off. Consequently, a lot more traffic had cut up onto that A120 and we're heading towards south via the A120 and then ultimately the M11, which was the way I was going. But I did get on site for 9 o'clock, so it's not too bad. Found the guys' vans, rang them, and they picked the boxes up pretty much within seconds. I was off site by 9:05. Made myself just 5 minutes up the road to junction 7 of the M11. There's a lovely big lay-by opposite McDonald's. Popped into McDonald's, used the toilet and got myself a coffee and sat down looking for that second job with the hope of getting something quite quickly and getting away, but that wasn't going to be the case. I think I must have bid on about 20-25 jobs, and that doesn't include the ones that I didn't bid on for reasons such as 45 days or basically areas I don't want to go to. I'm not going to list them all, we'll be here all day, but just to give you an example of what I was quoting and what I wasn't getting. Job from Chelmsford, which was about 25 minutes away, going to Ilford. Small van job, 27 miles, £50, didn't get that. Chelmsford going 2 drops, one to Romford and then on to Barnet. Long wheelbase, 41 miles in total, put £80 on that because it was 2 drops, didn't get that. Hertford, which was about half an hour sort of the other way from Chelmsford, that was going into West 1, central London. Wasn't that ultimately keen on it. Small van job, it's 30 miles in total, but it's time again. I put a price of 120 on it. I really wasn't too bothered either way. If they were prepared to pay that price, I'd have gone and done it, but I wasn't going to lose any sleep over it. There was a nice one from Harlow, 5 minutes from where I was, going to Ashford in Kent. Small van job, 68 miles. I went at £60 on that. Ashford's a really good area. And it was 5 minutes from where I was sitting, so I thought that would be worth going a little bit cheaper, but no, didn't have any luck on that. As I say, I've been on quite a lot more work. I sat there in the end for 2 hours 15 minutes. It was 11:15, starting to get a little bit despondent with it all, but finally did win a second job, and it was from Harlow, going up to Ely in Cambridgeshire. Small van, 55 miles. I bid £60 because it's not a great area at Ely. Shipper I've worked with before, and I did get that job. He did say to me, they're just finishing the goods now, can you pop along at about 11:45, which was fine. Got there at 11:40 because off site 11:55. It's not a bad run to Ely. Just get yourself back on the M11 and then the A11 and then make your way through Soham. Got there at 1:05. Off site, it was a residential engineers at a residential house. Off site by 1:10. Sat just down the road, had me lunch, have a look. Not great area really. That's probably why I got that extra sort of £10 or so on the job. I decided fairly quickly at about 1:30 I'm going to make my way back towards Bury St Edmunds and Ipswich, sit at the services that are in between the two and see if I can try and nab something before 3:30. And that's what turned out actually. I was just going past the sugar factory at Bury St Edmunds, if you know it, on the A14. Job came up from Ipswich in the centre of town now, going to Dunmow for a small van. It's 50 miles, I bid £60. Shipper I've worked with before, and I got that job, so I've literally picked that up 15 minutes ago. It's one large, it's actually quite heavy, bit of machinery. Needed 2 of us to get it on board, but it's on board. Left about 3:05. Should be on site, I think, somewhere around about 4:30. I'm going to get some traffic on my way towards Dunmow. Anyway, we'll get that off, and then I'll make my way home, and I should be home comfortably for about 5:30, or just go straight to the station and pick the wife up. So 3 jobs, all at £60. So it's £180 in total, which is in my target. Not brilliant, but yeah, it's sort of in my sort of strategy now of less is more. And I think one of the other things as well, I've sort of narrowed down now. As I say, I don't work with anyone 45 days, 60 days. And even the 30-day merchants now, I've sort of narrowed it down now to around about 20 shippers, maybe 25 with the odd ones. But I think really 20 shippers now that I work with. They know I do a decent job. So when I do bid on their prices, I feel quite confident I will get the job. That allows me to put a little bit, maybe extra money on it, a 5 or a 10 here or there. And like this job, when I got it, I was 40 minutes away from the pickup, and there were vans in Ipswich. I'd already looked at that, but the guy obviously feels it's worth hanging on 10-15 minutes for me to get there and do the job and do it properly, and not pick up a small item, smallish item in a large van and then disappear off down to somewhere like Chelmsford to go and do another job that's perhaps going to Stansted Airport, and you know, they're paying for a direct delivery, and that's what they're going to get. So okay-ish day, nothing fantastic, but not a disaster by any means. So there we go, that's it for the day. 180 quid, get this job done. Haven't got anything for tomorrow, but I will start looking in the very near future, as it's now 3:30. Yep, hope you've done well today, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.